Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube tutorial on how to program a Python app with Flask. In this video I will show you how to create a translator app similar to Google Translate, where you can input text and translate it into multiple languages. We will build it from scratch, so let's go. To get started, let's create a new environment and activate it. Next, we need to upgrade our package manager pip to ensure we have the latest version. We will also install the necessary dependencies, including Flask, Flask cores, and python.env. Now, let's create a file called main.py and a templates directory. Within this template directory, we will create a file called index.html. We also create a new file called .env to store any confidential information such as the OpenAI key. Next, we will import the required packages such as JSON and .env. We'll load the .env file using the .env library and retrieve the OpenAI key. Then we will create the Flask app instance and import all the necessary modules. Remember to ensure calls on the app to ensure that all servers can access our files and our local host doesn't encounter any difficulties when requesting content. If the program is executed as the main file, we will run the app in debug mode on port 8001. Now, let's create the index.html page and render this template on the root path of our app. Let's simply write "it works" for now. After refreshing the page, you'll see that it works. Now, let's enhance the user's interface by adding a selection input and the text area. Currently, they are aligned horizontally, but we want to align them vertically. Let's make a copy of the code and give it an ID. We'll use these options to provide translation to different languages. Additionally, we will add a button that triggers the translate function when clicked. Let's define the translate function and ensure that it aligns the elements vertically. We can do this by giving the container a display flags property and align the items horizontally. Make sure to adjust the text area's styling to be larger with a width of 100. We also need to rename the button's function from translate to translate text, as translate is a reserved keyword. Now, we need to retrieve the required information such as the input text, target language, and the output area, the canvas. We will write a function that handles the API call using the post method, specifies the required headers, and sends the input and target language into the request body. After receiving the response from the Flask app, which is in JSON format, we will unpack it to extract the success message and data. In the data, we will find the translated text and target language. Finally, let's create a new route called API Translate to handle translation requests. Then we will invoke a translate OpenAI function that we will perform the actual translation from the input language to the target language. The output will be a string, so we will make sure everything is working correctly. Now let's check it. It seems like there is a typo. Let me fix that. Perfect. Everything is working. As you can see, the target language is being sent correctly depending on the selection. The next step is to update the Translate OpenAI function, and we need to set the appropriate headers, specify the content as JSON, and provide the authority key bearer token. Additionally, we will include the required model and message history data, which we will update shortly. The URL structure looks like this. To send the request, we will use request post and include the headers and data. We will use JSON dumps to import the JSON object representation. It seems like the request library is not installed. Let me fix that real quick. And now we are encountering an issue with the URL lib3 package. Let me address that by installing the correct version. Now everything works as expected. We need to convert the text we received into UTF-8 encoding and create a JSON dictionary that includes the expected structure. By using choices, we can extract the desired content which lies within message. But it's not working. The problem here seems to be a typo in the API. It should read message instead of messages. Additionally, the message itself has not been written yet. Let me copy and paste it here. The assistant, as a translator, should utilize the target language regardless of the input. We will create a dictionary with example messages to guide the API in understanding our intentions. Let's include a few examples like hello translated to German, hello in French, and how are you in French. Please note that we will focus on a limited number of target languages for now, as the API may not be perfect for translating a wide range of languages. We just want to test those languages where the API performs well. And finally, we will allow users to enter their own input text and target language. Now let's test it out. It's not working. It seems that the service isn't running. Let's restart it. There you go. Now it works perfectly. When we input "How are you" in English, we will receive the German text "Hallo, wie geht es Ihnen?" If we switch to French, we will get "Salut, comment ça va?" In Italian, "Ciao, como stai?" And in Spanish as "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" And that's it. We have successfully built a fully functional API. You can check out the GitHub page to download all the necessary files. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.